All right. Hello, everyone. Judy Herman here.
Hi.
And I have a wonderful guest, one of my soul sisters among 18 other soul sisters from the Women's Summit. This is AJ Swift. And she and I have met because we shared the same platform with our mentor, Les Brown, and that was on the 6th. And so we did this in honor of International Women's Day, but here it is, Women's History Month, and she has a remarkable message. Oh my goodness. And last week I thought Lisa G was the last speaker, but no, it was AJ that was the very last speaker. So, but she had such beautiful wisdom. And thank you so much, AJ, for being here.
Thank you, Judy, for having me. It's definitely a pleasure to be here with you all. I appreciate it.
Well, you're welcome. There are so many phrases that you used in your message that I so resonate with. And one of them, you used this how to dance to the rhythm of your dream. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, learning to dance to the rhythm of your own beat. Yes.
Oh, the rhythm of your own beat. Yes.
Yeah.
You know, I've used that same phrase. I've used that same analogy. As you can see this little statue here, life is like a dance. So there's this something very similar in our messages, yet we have very different backgrounds, right? And that was a beautiful thing about that Saturday, listening to everyone's speech and just this common thread
Yeah.
that bound us together. Are
Yeah.
you a dancer yourself?
I'm not. I'm not. I find myself having rhythm in the car, but no, I'm not a dancer. But
Hey,
I can do it
that's
sometimes.
you just haven't discovered that part of yourself yet, right?
Maybe you're right.
It's in there. But I
Maybe
love
you're
your dance analogy. So tell folks about you. I'm just like, I am so touched by your story because, oh
right.
my God, not just a story of surviving and not even just a story of thriving, but this is like, you've been through some amazing things. And I really want my folks to hear a piece of what brought you to this point where you can get to the point where you're speaking out about your life.
Absolutely, Judy. Okay, so everyone, I'm Asia Swift. You can all call me AJ. I'm a divine transformation mentor. So, what I do is I help women overcome obstacles, I help them maximize their potential and tap into that inner authentic being of who they actually is. And for me, growing up, I didn't have the support. And a lot of us, we need that touch, that guidance. And I was pretty much on my own a lot growing up. You know what I mean? So I had to learn on my own how to find myself, how to find my inner voice. And so now speaking out about a lot of childhood trauma, a lot of abuse that I suffered, a lot of the choices, unhealthy mistakes that I've made growing up, I think that it's time for us to come out of the shell and to start breaking out of these old cycles and just find out who we are. Like, I know that I am divine. I am not all of what other people wanted me to be or said I was back then. So it's just amazing to finally speak up and speak out. Yes.
Wow. And I appreciate that because here we have your face on the screen here. What you're telling me, AJ, is so much what I hear in the privacy of my counseling
Mhm.
and my counseling practice when I see people that they're in the midst of that. And I am like a family systems therapist. So what gets passed down from generation to generation is not just you, but it's like from generations prior. But what I was so impressed with, even what you shared in your like 10-minute speech on that Saturday, was how you broke out of what people were defining you as, and this narrative that you had that you believed about yourself. You broke out of that. It's kind of like you changed your family tree, which I'm so excited about because I tell my clients that I say, we're not doing just your work, we're changing your family tree. And
Absolutely.
that is exciting to a lot of people.
Yes, it really is. I have my clients come to me and I have women with all sorts of things, not just trauma, but anxiety, depression. Some people want to lose weight, and I'm helping them to break out of that mindset that they can't do it. And I think that it all starts with the mind, because
Absolutely.
we're stuck in this. The only way I can put it is it's a cycle. and you
It
have to
is.
get strong enough and start to tell, you have to switch the story. You have to change what you say to yourself. And that's where it starts. That's where it started with me.
That is so true. And the mind, some people will think that's just your brain, but no, your mind is your whole being. It's your body. You're a spiritual being. You're a physical being. We have these emotions and they do flow in and out. And again, going back to the flow of dancing to the rhythm of your beat, of your dreams, of your life, I think is so remarkable. So let me ask you, AJ, because there's a lot of people that may not know the difference between, say, my profession as a mental health counselor and relationship, specializing in relationships versus what you do. And are you like a coach, or what is your training at this point?
I think I wear many hats. You can consider me empowerment coach, purpose coach. I just really help people tap into their authentic identity. So I like to consider myself a transformation mentor, because what I do is just help them along the way. I just give them the tools that can assist them in this transformation that needs to take place, So
Yes.
like I said, it could be empowering, it could be inspiration, it can be helping you figure out what your passion, connecting your passion and your purpose. But it's ultimately, my goal is to get you from this place to this place. And so I consider myself a transformation mentor, because ultimately I want to see you transformed.
Oh, wow. Now that definitely I resonate with for sure. A transformation mentor, because we can get so confused about, okay, what's a counselor do? What does a consultant do? What does a coach do? What does a mentor do? So they're all different aspects in different ways, but this is beautiful that you have gone on this journey yourself, AJ, doing your own healing. And I'm sure that was quite a journey for you as well. But I tell you what, it's powerful, because when you're in the midst of your darkness, when you're in the midst of these spaces in your life that are so dark, you want to be able to see the light. And I really believe you, AJ, are the light right now. You are shining brightly. One other thing about your speech that I want to bring out is that every one of us have this deep longing in our hearts to belong. And there was a time, you feel like you're going to be forsaken from your
Mhm.
own family when you take this step of growth and
Yeah.
you break out of this. But your story, at least part of it that I know about, is that, wow, you want to be held, you want to be felt, you want to be understood by your own mom. You don't want to be alone,
Yeah.
right? That
Mhm.
is a core human need for all of us. That's how we're built. That's how we're designed, is to be in relationship. I don't know if you want to speak to that right now, but whatever you wanted to share.
I mean, I definitely can touch on that. Actually, speaking about my relationship with my mother, I mentioned in my speech how we actually shared a jail cell together at some point. That was absolutely very true. That was really hard for me, because to know that the only connection that I had with my mother was criminal activity or a criminal relationship, that was very, very heartbreaking, and then to not only share a cell with her, but then to be separated from her again because she got released before I did. It just regurgitated the trauma. So I had to experience the separation, the abandonment, feeling alone. And honestly, before I got into therapy, I dealt with a lot of that trauma on my own. And so I turned to all of these drugs and unhealthy relationships, and I was just on a maze of just craziness for some time until I was able to grasp, the concept of wanting to do better, wanting to be better. But I think it's very important that healing begins to take place with some of that trauma, especially the longing and the wanting to be loved and the wanting to be belonged, and just to feel like connected with someone. And for
Absolutely.
that to happen with your parent, I mean, that's
Mhm.
very you know.
Well, you know what? And I really so appreciate you sharing this, because so many are living in this shame. There's three things that keep shame intact. One is secrecy, and the
Yeah.
other one is silence. and the other one is judgment. But see, you have broken through all of that, AJ, and I think it's so beautiful because now you're able to heal, and others can see, oh, she did this, I can do this too. And whether we're in a very messy relationship, because that's what I'm all about, my book is Beyond Messy Relationships. It is a very vulnerable memoir. It's a dramatic and intense memoir, but also I show up as a therapist at the beginning of each of the chapters. But there was that time in my life I thought, oh my gosh, if people read this, if my clients read this, they're going to say, and why is she, or why are we seeing her as our therapist? But it was me needing to break through that. But yet that bond of relationship is so strong, and so many women, I'm sorry, I'm sure it's with men too, but I'm going to speak on behalf of women because we spoke at a women's summit, but so many women would rather live in the familiarity of that trauma for that sake of connection, because it's a huge risk. Like it's a huge risk. You almost feel like your breath is being knocked out of you. And you probably know from my speech that I do, and in the book, I use this acronym of breathing fresh air. Awareness is raising our level of awareness. We've got to be able to see there's a life outside of what we're living in day day out. And then the intentionality in air so we need to make space to grow. And it sounds to me like you did a lot of that, not just therapy, you did that work on your own, AJ. And then the risk, and I'm telling you, I don't know what this experience was like for you to be the very last one on Saturday to speak, but boy, it was a huge risk. It was a huge risk for me. I mean, and probably all of us as speakers, like to be out there, put ourselves out there. So anyway.
Well, you say, Judy, no risk, no reward, right?
Yeah, it's like,
Cool.
It's like when you're a little kid and you want to jump off the high dive and you've never done that before, and you're going to go on that diving board. It's the same kind of thing as we grow and taking our next level of growth. So
well, I'll tell you, I'm happy that I took that leap, because it was something sitting there waiting while you all went. And I'm like, okay, it's my turn. And I'm telling you, like, right as Precious was announcing me, I'm like, girl, you still have time to tap out of this thing. Turn it off. You can still run. And I'm like, no, because what does Les Brown say? Take a leap and grow your wings on the way down. Right?
Yes.
You got to do what you got to do. So.
Well, I'm saying they might have saved the best to last, but I was so tuned in to your message. And honestly, AJ, I don't know how you did it. I know I was nervous in that first half of the program, but you presented so beautifully, so calmly, so peacefully. I experienced you as being in this flow.
Yes.
And so I think that's remarkable. So it just makes me want to get to know you better, and it's just amazing. Now, do you have a book yet?
I do. I have an ebook that I wrote.
Okay.
So it touches a little bit on my story. I give a few pointers on why it's important to begin the healing process, because I think a lot of us I know a lot of women, at least, like you said, we're talking about women today. We're just seeking the answers to all of these questions that we have. Why this happened to me, or why can't I speak out? A lot of us are very silent. And like you said, we rather stay connected to the trauma because it's too risky to heal. It's going to hurt too bad. It's going to cost us too much. But it's very important that we just step out and begin that process, because beautiful things happen once we start the healing process. So that's what my ebook, Heal to Grow, is all about, how these amazing things begin to take place in your life once you decide to take advantage of your life and decide, I'm not going to let my past dictate my future. I'm not going to let my current circumstances dictate who I am and where I'm going. And so Heal to Grow is a beautiful message to women who are finding themselves stuck in this muck. I think it will be awesome for them to tap into that.
I love that. I'm definitely going to get that book for sure. And the name of it again is?
It's Heal to Grow.
Heal to Grow, and you can find that
You
on,
find it on my website, theswifthealing.com.
okay.
You can download, actually, you all can download a free sample of it. It'll come straight to you. You can just enter your name and email, and a free sample will come to you. Otherwise, you can get the whole book on my website.
Love this. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, AJ. And this has been such a privilege. I'm telling you, folks that have been following me, like this is, I guess within the last couple weeks, I have just loved this energy and this flow of having guests, because I was doing several solo, little, live Facebooks for 5 minutes or so. But this is just has created such energy and camaraderie, relationship wise. So we need to get out of our little small worlds. We need to look bigger and see the possibilities. And we have been so blessed, haven't we, AJ, by the mentoring that we've received from Les Brown, legendary Les Brown, and also John Tallarico, our coach. But wow, what a blessing it is.
Definitely a blessing and a pleasure. I love it. I love the connections that we've all created between each other. It's just beautiful to be able to inspire, encourage, and be uplifted, by a group of like-minded women. It's a beautiful thing.
Absolutely. All right. Well, I'm going to keep this under 20 minutes anyway. So, and then, thank you so much, AJ, for
Thank you
joining
for having me, Judy. It was a pleasure.
Yeah. All right. You take care.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.